Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me today for this message that the Lord has asked me to give. This is an update on the calendar and the season alignments, and also on the lunar and solar eclipse that is coming up. So as all things, I ask that you take everything to the Lord and have Him reveal what you need to know for yourself. So as you saw, the first picture on there was the packet that was done and finished this last harvest season. And as always, there's the Lord gives us understanding, and then there's understanding added upon until the full picture comes into play. And so even right now, there are so many people that are getting a hold of me that just, it's like this foundation of this has just blown up. There's so much that is being brought into the light right now. This record will absolutely be beautiful when all the pieces are brought together and the gloriousness of Christ's work is actually seen in its fulfillment. It's amazing. So what the Lord has asked me to share today is He had me prophesy. I'm going to go ahead and share this so that we can understand the corrections that have to be made on creation calendar. The Heavenly Father gave me back in, I believe it was the end of August of 2022. And so in this packet that He had me do, it was based on where the world is right now. And He's going to show this mirroring process of the earth flipping on its axis and how it will go into mirroring itself during this cleansing process. So everything that you will see will be a mirroring effect, including upon yourself, with your spouses, with seasons, everything. It'll be this mirroring effect that you will see. Okay, so I'm going to show you, let me see, step by step. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to flip my phone over and I'm going to show you these pictures so that you can understand better what's being said. So hopefully you can see this. This is a drawing that He had me do. So the earth flipping on its axis, what it means is it's a mirroring effect. So if you're looking at the directions, we know that the world is flat. Basically what it's doing is in this flipping process, these seasons then, you see east here, but east here. So basically it's folding on itself, okay, to go through this cleansing process to get back into alignment with creation. So this is why, the mirroring of seasons, the mirroring of two moons. And so hopefully that gives you a visual of what this is going to look like. It's going to be a mirroring effect, okay? So if you have the calendar in the packet that was done, in the calendar you will see that the seasons on it now that when He had me do it was 1:15 harvest, 4:1 winter, 7:15 spring, and 10:1 summer. And I always questioned, like, that seems really weird, Father, that that the calendar would start with harvest season. So you ask the question, and in His timing He will answer it. So now here's the answering of that question. So when this flip happens, the mirroring during this flip, there'll be the seasons will flip on themselves. So you'll see somewhat kind of like a fall, and then we're going to have a winter, and that winter is extremely, extremely cold. So there will be no spring or summer involved in this, okay? So then creation alignment will look like this afterwards. So if you have the calendar, please change these seasons. You will go 1:15 spring, 4:1 summer, 7:15 harvest, and 10:1 is winter. All right. So now if you have this, and this is page 12 in the packet, you will see that this is the feast, but is also based on spring and on harvest. And this was going from the Mosaic law to the higher laws, the kingdom laws. And so this was showing the flipping of that. But with the flipping of that, the harvest season and spring were not flipped. So He's showing me now, you have to correct that where it says spring, you will actually need to put harvest. Flip feast, where it says harvest, you will need to put spring. So this is page 12, and this now puts the feast back in alignment of the harvest feast and the spring feast. All right, so then this is the next page in the packet and that'll be corrected. So this is 23, and we can see that there's a diamond shape here. Sorry, this is just 23. This is the diamond shape, okay? But then you're going to see that when they did this shape and put, again, so these are wrong because they had, this was for harvest season, this was for, let's see, I think that was winter, spring, and summer. Okay, so now that's all going to flip. And also, there's a correction that needs to be made because when this was done, this is not in alignment with God because there are these added lines on 1, 4, 7, and 10. You cannot add extra spaces in there because then it takes away from the number 12. So instead of having 12, there were 16, and that's incorrect. So this is being corrected, and it will look like this, but now with this, but let me correct that. It will be in this diamond shape, but up and down, instead of the box shape. So when you have this, the seasons will still be, or will change with the flip. So now you'll have 1:15 top, 4:1 summer, 7:15 harvest, and 10:1 winter. Okay. Okay, so then if you look on the calendar, there's actually a typo error on month number 10. And if you look at 10:10, so we put Day of Atonement, 1:10, and it got put on here in the 10th month, the 10th day. That is a typo error and it needs to be removed. That is not the Day of Atonement. And then they have when this was done, I had taught that you have to minus the 7 Sabbaths of the 50 days of Pentecost, that they were not included in that. But when it was done, the 50 days were discounted. And so the day of Pentecost is 10:8, and that is wrong. Day of Pentecost is 10:14, right before 10:15, the full moon Sabbath of light. Okay. So last year, the Lord had me prophesy on the resurrection, Passover, and eclipse. And in that, it also has to do with the Purim, the unveiling of us. That has to do with Lazarus, the unveiling of his people. It all ties in together. But he had told me to watch the full moons between the 7th month and the 8th month. So if you look up the alignment now of these Passovers as the world celebrates a Passover either in the Mosaic Law or the higher laws. Mosaic laws, they follow the calendar of man that is, in the 7th month. And from everything that Christ had me walk through last year on creation calendar, from the beginning of creation, was that 8:15 was a true day of Passover because that is the day that Christ was actually crucified. And he had told me during that time to pay attention to the 2 full moons. So if we look at the 2 full moons from the 7:15 to 8:15, there is a lunar eclipse and there is a solar eclipse that will take place. And with it will come those mirroring effects, the things that have been prophesied. And so I encourage you to take everything to the Lord for yourself. If you would like a copy of this packet, and I can, as it is, and I can write down the corrections that need to be made on this one, because like I said, there is so much more information coming in that will complete this with, this packet has the seasons, it has the calendar, the true Sabbaths and feast and new moon feast, which will just go into a feast because these become Sabbaths of light. It has the menorah, it has the star alignments of the fathers that was put together. And so if you would like a copy of this, I'm sorry. So there's a ton more that's going to be added on the menorah, the true Star of David. There's a ton of information that God is giving, and as these records come together, this is truly going to be amazing to see the fulfillment of God's work and just how glorious it was. And the unveiling of our eyes to get to truly see God's work, God's mighty work of creation. So, If you would like a copy of this packet, go ahead and email me. My email is in my description box, or in my information, or I can put it in the description box, and I can get this emailed out to you so that you have the creation calendar for when the earth flips. You understand what that means now, and or the earth flipping on its axis, what that means, and how to begin to follow the creation calendar. So God bless and have an amazing day.